What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Ride and Dad channel video, or welcome if it's your first time. Either way, very glad to have you. Today, we are doing my long-term review of the Ruroc Atlas 4.0. This is obviously the helmet. If you guys have not seen my initial review, I'll link it right now. But before we get into the meat and potatoes, as they say, we got to roll that intro. So let's get that done.
Riding down a YouTube channel, it's the riding down a YouTube channel, it's the riding down a YouTube channel, it's the riding down a
All right, so let me start off by saying this review is purely subjective. This is a lot of this is my opinion, some of it is fact. For those of you who did not see the initial review that I did, this rubber trim on the bottom of one side was completely peeling off. I had to super glue it back on, and I'll post some pictures again to right now because the video is not going to pick it up. I don't think it's going to be close enough. But the slits in the side for these vents are super jagged. The paint is not well done. The overall quality control was just not good at all when I first got it. So fast forward a couple months, many hours and days wearing just this helmet now, and many miles later as well, where I'm comfortable enough giving an actual long-term review of this. Quality-wise, you might be interested to know that the other side did the exact same thing. The part that I had to super glue on I forget if it was either the left or the right initially, but either way, had to super glue it again, and then like I said, both of these cutouts were bad. So quality control, very unimpressed with this helmet, especially for the price point. I did go ahead and purchase, just to try it out, well, it's an action camera mount, but everybody knows you're always going to use a GoPro anyway. That's just what the brands are right now. I did purchase this mount. It fits well with the helmet, but for whatever reason, the stickiness of it is garbage. It sticks well to the helmet, at least in my experience, but it doesn't stick to the mount at all. I barely used this mount for GoPro stuff, just testing it out, and it's already peeling off really bad. It's not something that is very confidence inspiring, putting a somewhat heavy, $500-600 investment on your helmet and putting it on this mount. As far as, well, that's good. The chin curtain does not want to stay put, in my experience, for whatever reason. It just kind of hangs out there. I will say the inner, it's hard to see on video, but this inner flap that I had a issue with as far as like the little air control on the inside has fallen when I've had it up, which is the closed position. It's fallen down a lot. When you push it down, there is a nice, let me see if you guys can hear that. You hear that little click? That click is in the down position, which is open, which it's in the down position. That's where gravity is going to see, and this came off again. This is where gravity is going to have it naturally go. You would want that click at least in the upper position as well, if not just in the upper position. And there is no click. So it's fallen down on me a couple times while riding normally, and then I've had wind. Not a crazy big deal, but again, you're paying several $100s for a helmet. You expect it to at least work with the things that are on there. This vent up top, it might as well not be there. It's so bad that you honestly, I cannot ever tell if it's open or closed at all. Looking in the mirror on the bike to see through those holes, I can't see. It's just not, for whatever reason, I just can't tell through the mirror whether it's open or closed. So looking here right now through the vent holes, you can see whether it's open or closed. But again, on the bike, you can't. And without seeing it, there is no way for me to tell. There's no noise change. There's no felt air difference. I've held the helmet up. Sometimes, especially me, I don't have any hair. It's literally just straight on my head. So sometimes the top is squished down a little bit too much and it covers up those holes. I've lifted the helmet up a little bit in different positions. Zero change for me, whether you open or close on this. As far as the overall ventilation of the helmet, it's mediocre, I would say at best. And part of what even gets it to that mediocre rating is that it allows an absolute ton of air through the chin curtain, in my experience at least. chin curtain area, not through the sides. We'll talk about that in a minute because I actually do like part of this, but it just allows a ton of air through the chin curtain part in the front, and it's okay as far as, having it increase venting and stuff, because you do want venting in the helmet, but the minute it gets cool enough that you don't want a ton of airflow in your helmet, that's what this chin curtain is supposed to be for, and it's just not doing what it's supposed to do, really. As far as noise goes overall, noise is very subjective depending on what bike you have. I mean, if you ride one of those Suzaki Katanas or whatever, or if you ride one of these Harley Davidson, any really Harley Davidson, I guess, in comparison, it's different. So in my experience, it's a relatively quiet helmet. Is it the quietest helmet I've ever ridden? No. Is it the loudest helmet I've ever ridden with? Also no. So I would put it almost right in the middle. Vision-wise, there's a very wide field of view. However, in my experience, this hard-mounted breath guard kind of nose piece in here, where other helmets would have like the little rubber piece that you can take out and stuff, this not only touches my nose, right at the tip of my nose full time for whatever reason, but it's also in my peripheral a little bit more than any other helmet I've ridden with just a little rubber kind of breath guard in there. So peripheral-wise, height-wise, 100% good field of vision. Nose-wise, on a little bit lower in that area, not a fan at all. It does get into my vision, and again, it's just kind of a little annoying of a thing. As far as the way this seals, I have not gotten caught in rain with it yet, thankfully, so I cannot tell you 100%, if it's waterproof or not. However, just looking on the top, you can watch, at least on mine, that's another thing. Sometimes it just doesn't lock. It's like, there we go. When you watch it lock, see, like now it won't lock. I'm pushing down on it and it just won't lock. I have to like redo it. But when you watch it lock, this side doesn't change at all, and I can see the gap still between that rubber liner, O-ring, whatever you want to call it, and the actual face shield. So I have very low faith that this will be watertight in the event that you do get caught in the rain. The locking system, I hate it. I really do. It is nice that you have variable detents in there. I do like when manufacturers offer different spots to hold the visor up. In my experience, they don't stay there though. They tend to go down, especially when you get a little bit of wind, but a lot of manufacturers will have that because it's not meant to lock in place at those. It's just kind of different spots. I will say it does allow a little bit of air in, a decent amount of air in when you do prop it open, just that small little bit extra. And again, I said the locking system, in my experience, sometimes it just doesn't want to lock for whatever reason. It's not great. All right, let's talk about the overall comfort of this, because that's obviously what is, a bulk amount of why you would want to get or stay away from a helmet. The new system that they have as far as their cheap as and stuff, and I have zero experience with the Atlas 1, 2, or 3.0s, just the 4. And again, I bought this myself. They didn't send it to me or anything like that. I wanted to try it out. The cheek pads are, I would say, actually very comfortable. They are a bit more stiff in the very beginning, initially putting on the helmet, than you would typically find in a lot of other helmets. However, I'd say that they break in quite nice over time. I will say the overall comfortableness of the interior of the helmet is actually really good. I will also say that the speaker pockets on the side, the ear pockets on the side, the whole ear pocket area is a very generous cavity for the ear, the speaker, any hearing protection you might use or anything like that. Out of all the helmets I've tried, not only in the past year and a half, 2 years, but in my lifetime, I would say that this is probably the most spacious in terms of, ear cavities that I've had, if not definitely just, it's up there. I would say it's probably the most spacious. It does allow you to wear sunglasses or eyeglasses with it. I have used sunglasses with it with no issue. I've had other helmets that allow better fits with sunglasses, but I have no issues with this one necessarily. They fit fine. It allows the actual bridge to sit on my nose, and I have no issue, no unnecessary pressure on the temple or anything like that. The Fidlock system, jury's still out on that for me, whether I like it or not. Is it quicker? Yeah, no doubt. However, it's such a bulky, and I'm sure if you have this, you could probably attest to this too, compared to the typical D-ring, like the double D-ring, it's just such a bulky sets of material here on your neck that with decent thick gloves, it's kind of hard to find this red pull tab. Now, obviously, you can just look in the mirror or whatever, but if you're trying to, which is one of the whole concepts of this Fidlock system they have with the magnet, it's hard to find with your gloves sometimes just because this is such a bulky material around your neck. The next part of that, in terms of this Fidlock system, being that it's so bulky and the part where this kind of padding is actually mounted on the, I don't know what you call it, the straps, is so far away from the actual center of these where they hook up, the actual padding tends to get flopped on one side or another, at least in my experience, which leads to a very uncomfortable experience. And again, more bunchiness in your neck area, which is not comfortable in general. So I will say that is not awesome. In my opinion, I'd take a double D-ring system over this any day. And like I said, I've ridden with this for many months now, many hours. Many miles, and I still don't like the Fidlock system, but a lot of people love it, so to each their own with that. Possibly if you have like a skinnier neck and head, it might even be better. Like I said, the sizing is good. Actually, just looking at it right now, I'm seeing this is ridiculous, guys. I'm seeing that this black piece, let me try to bring it closer to you guys, so I don't think it's going to come across on video, but this black piece is coming unglued also. I have to push it, and it actually sounds like it's almost like a double-sided tape, because you can hear the little bit of the stickiness when it comes back on, and the same thing with this side as well. So overall, quality of this helmet, in my opinion, is just absolute garbage, really. The interior, good. I have no complaints, no issues with the interior of this helmet. Quality control, fit and whatever. No issues with the interior of this helmet at all. Something that's also worth noting is this helmet just feels huge. Now, I know they boast about the weight, whatever, and I'm going to get my scale in a second to prove to you that, again, what they're saying is just kind of malarkey. But it just feels huge. I'm going to get another helmet in a second so you can see, but if you just look at this compared to another helmet and you put it on, it's just a big helmet, which I'm sure is how they achieve stuff like the interior comfort and the ear cavities and stuff like that. But it's just huge. It feels big. All right, guys, so I have a scale here. I have this Ruroc Atlas 4.0, obviously. I have the Scorpion XOR1 Air, and then I have my Arai Corsair X. So I'm going to go ahead and tear this. So it's at 0 pounds right now. I'll try to tilt it. Hopefully you guys won't be able to see it all. So you guys just have to take my word on this. I am the riding dad. I don't lie. So try to get this centered the best we can without touching it. It's coming up right at about 3.8 and change. So 3.8. And yes, that's with the Shockwave in there. Well, we're gonna get to the Shockwave in a second. But that's with the Shockwave audio in there. It's 3.8. So that was 3.8 pounds. This Arai Corsair X is not carbon fiber like Ruroc boasts. We're all carbon fiber. We're the lightest. We're so good. This is not carbon fiber. This has no audio system in it currently. And I understand it's more expensive, but this is right around the 3.5 mark. And I know you're gonna think this is BS or whatever, but I've ridden years with this helmet. 3 trips to the Tail of Dragon now. Just a lot of sweat and, skin particles and everything. I have yet to wash the interior of this, which yes, I should wash it, but all that stuff adds up as well. So that might be off by, you know, a couple tenths or whatever. That brings us to this actual, in my mind, carbon fiber helmet. I want to just, I don't know if you guys can see a good comparison about size, but it just is so much smaller. Like, can you see that on video? Does that, like, it's just such a smaller helmet. The Ruroc is just gigantic. So this is the Scorpion, which a review is going to come out pretty soon for, because I've been loving this helmet. This has a full Cardo Pactog Bold in it, speakers and everything like this. And again, this is carbon fiber, and this is going to weigh out with the Cardo in it at 3.3 and a half, 3.36, somewhere around there in the 3.36 range. And that's with the Cardo in it. So as you could see, this whole carbon fiber, what is going on? This whole carbon fiber, Ruroc is the greatest because we're so lightweight and we're the best ever. It's a little bit of a malarkey, if you ask me. It's not a small helmet. The footprint is not small. I will say, riding with zero fairing and everything, aerodynamics is fine until you hit about, at least in my experience, until you hit about 60, 65-ish. And then you start going off the rails a little bit. At that point, you can really feel the heaviness of it, again, in my experience. And if you do, you know, lane checks or move up or down or whatever, the wind doesn't take it and rip it off your head, but you really do feel it more than, in my opinion, the Scorpion, the Arai, an AGV, a Simpson, everything that I've been trying out in the last, year or two. So that brings us to the Shockwave. For those of you who don't know what the Shockwave is, it's an internal system that everything is already kind of internally done, like wiring wise. When you get the system, you basically just put speaker in a speaker pocket, plug it into the little connection there, and then you magnetically push this main piece, like the actual communication system, soft hardware, whatever you want to call it, the bulk of it, into the back. Otherwise, you could just cover the back with a thing. Now I gave this a shot when I got the Ruroc because I really wanted to kind of all dive in or whatever. I will say audio quality is really not that bad at all. It's pretty good. Audio quality is pretty good. Audio loudness, like the levels of volume that you're going to get from this, are actually really good. User interface for this, even worse than the quality control for the helmet, if you can believe it. This is just terrible. Even with no gloves, reaching all the way behind your head, trying to find the buttons, it's a bit of a crapshoot. With gloves, even like a thin MX style glove that I've been riding with here in the summer weather, good luck trying to find it. You're better off getting touchscreen capable gloves or something like the Odin's where the fingers kind of fold back and using your phone to pause, skip, or whatever if you have your phone mounted on the handlebars. Because this is just absolutely, it's just so bad to use, and I don't understand why they did it. For those of you that don't know my experience, if you didn't watch my first video, if you never talked to me or whatever, getting this helmet was a nightmare for me. I went according to their size chart on the Ruroc website, bought what I need, according to the size chart. I was right in the middle of the lower and higher spectrum for that size for that helmet, so I got that. Didn't fit at all. Went and needed to exchange it. It was absolutely terrible. I can't go into specifics because it's been a while, so I've forgotten exact times and dates and stuff. It was about right around a month until I got the new one, and they actually had my old helmet sent back for, I think it was like right around a week and a half, 2 weeks before they even sent the new one. It was just absolutely terrible. Their customer service was absolutely just one of the worst customer services experiences I've ever had in my life. Also, what I will say is my quality control issues. I know a guy, and I'm not going to mention any names because I want to keep stuff private, but if I'm sure he's going to watch this because I know he always watches my stuff. So if he wants to comment or whatever, he can, but I don't want to call him out like that. Respect his privacy. So when I initially posted my review, the initial review on it, and had the quality control issues and the customer service issues and everything like that, he reached out to a guy that he's been talking to over at Ruroc quite frequently and let him know, like, hey, this is his experiences, you know, do you have anything you can, whatever. And the rep at Ruroc was like, yeah, we'll reach out to him. My understanding is that conversation between the two of those guys took place a few times now, with the response on Ruroc's end always being, yeah, we will talk to him, you know, basically we'll get it sorted out. That's not what we want the opinion of our customer service or quality of our products to be. To date, I have not received any email, any phones, any instant messages, any direct messages, any comments, or anything from Ruroc at all. So in my mind, they are more than okay putting out the quality of products that they are, like this piece of junk, and then just disrespecting their customers in an absolute just crazy fashion in the way that they did for me as far as the customer service that I received as, you know, trying to get an exchange for this helmet. It sucks that, you know, it sucks that a company is fine letting that happen once they have your money. The other thing I will also say is that I really did try to wait a while for this review to go out just in case they were going to reach out. I already reached out and complained about my experience to customer service in the very beginning, so it's not like you can be like, oh, well, how do they know this has happened or whatever? They know, they just don't care. So if Ruroc, if you want to reach out to me and, you know, try to either make things right where you feel, or, you know, explain why the quality control is that bad, I'm listening. I will, you know, if they do, for you guys watching, if they do reach out to me and anything changes with this or my opinions on anything, I will obviously let you guys know as well. I'm not going to keep anything under wraps. I am a very transparent YouTuber or whatever. I feel like that's a weird title, but I always keep everything honest with you guys and let you guys know what's going on. So this helmet, as of 10 minutes ago, when I checked online, is selling this exact helmet. They obviously go up in price for the styles and everything. This is selling for $475. Now, this brings me to what I recommend it / do I think it's a good value. The interior is very comfortable. Like I said, the venting sucks. It feels heavy. The audio system is terrible. Now, you could put like a Cardo or a Sena or a Lexan or whatever on this. It's gonna be not as easy to mount on this helmet as really any other kind of typical style helmets. The speaker pockets are decent sized, but you're gonna have more, not an issue, but more of an inconvenience routing the wires on the interior of this helmet because of how the interior pre-routed wire systems are for this. So for that alone, simplicity-wise, it is easy to go with the Shockwave system, the internal Bluetooth that Ruroc sells, but for usability, like I said, again, it's absolute trash, and I really hope they fix, even if they had like some sort of dial back there, I think maybe, or if they just, I don't know what they can do to make this better, especially if they leave it in the back of the helmet. It's just, like I said, it's so bad. It's so bad, guys. So, is this helmet worth it? I'm filming this video in the year of 2022, the year of Hurricane Ian, post-COVID, whatever you want to call it. And again, $475 for this helmet. Do I think that's worth it? No. And I don't think you're going to be surprised in hearing that at all. One, the quality control. Two, the customer service. If anything happens with this helmet or if you have any issues or whatever, they're overseas. If you're in the US, which I think most of my viewers are like myself, getting to anybody overseas is rough, and nobody stocks this, obviously. It's just Ruroc directly to you. There's no other third-party sites to get involved or anything like that. This Scorpion carbon fiber was about $600. The non-carbon fiber version is about $500. You're paying about $100 more for the carbon fiber version, which I do think if you're getting this helmet is 100% worth it because it is a super, super lightweight helmet. And there's a lot of other really beneficial benefits to this helmet that we'll get into when I do the review for this a little bit later on. That Arai is about $900, $800, $900, depending on which scheme you get on there. That I do think is worth it as well, and I've posted reviews on that helmet, but obviously not in the same realm of this price point. The Simpson helmets are in the same realm as this price point, and while they are louder, and slightly less comfortable in my mind than the interior of this helmet, I do think overall they are a much better value for the money than this Ruroc. Again, I said the Scorpion is a much better value. AGV K6 is right around the same price point. Different color schemes and everything with that. Not only is that even a lighter weight than the Scorpion carbon fiber helmet that I paid extra for, but the AGV has a lot of really nice features, as well as, you know, the benefit of the added customer service here on the mainland as far as returns, exchanges, accessories, being able to pair a normal Cardo or a Sino with it or something like that, as far as the internals go. And again, review will be coming out on that AGV as well. So I think HJC, those are just helmets that I personally use that I can tell you are for sure a better value and a better bet than going with this Ruroc 4.0. As far as, you know, helmets that I would assume are, AGV, or sorry, not AGV, we already covered AGV. HJC is making some really good ARFA lineups right now. I would say that the ARFA HJC is probably a better bet than this Ruroc. And I can't really think, from what I've heard, LS2 has some really good things. I haven't checked their prices lately, so I can't tell you if it's going to be around the same price point. But the point I'm getting at is in this current year, and I'm sure it's just Shoei RTF 1400, I think is what it is, even the GT Air, but the GT Air's got the drop-down sun visor, and I'm not a fan of those for ventilations, but the RTF 1400 is right around the same price point as well, right around that $500 mark. I think it's actually like $495 or something like that last time I checked. I don't think it's more than 500 or really at all. I'll post pictures of all these helmets that I'm talking about so I can kind of fact check myself. But the Shoei RTF 1400 seems like a much better value, and you know, again, you get all the benefits of the customer service and the product and everything like that, versus overseas of the Ruroc customer service mess that you guys know that I had to deal with. So that is a very good option as well in my mind. Like I said, again, the interior of this helmet is a really nice package. It is comfortable in the interior. It's just in this current year that we're at, and I'm sure in the future even more so, there are much better values, not only for the customer service and the quality control point, but just for the features and the sheer usability of the helmet. Stuff like the weight, stuff like the overall size. I mean, you get, like I said, it's a big helmet. Now, the only thing I will say where this helmet probably will exceed more than any other helmet is if you don't listen to any music, you don't have any interest in having any kind of communication system on your helmet, and you have problems with noise where you want to use hearing protection or anything like that. The Rurocs do come, if you're not using the speaker, with a kind of I think they call it like a dB reducer or dB killer or whatever. It's a decibel reducer that fits instead of where the speaker would go in that speaker pocket, and that does lend this helmet to be a very quiet helmet. However, it does take up even more of that kind of space, in my opinion, for your ear cavity, and it does sometimes it'll touch your ears, which can obviously be somewhat uncomfortable for longer rides, but not undoable. So whether to get this Ruroc Atlas 4.0 is going to be your own choice. The choice is yours. Obviously, make your own educated decision. I don't have any vested interest whether you buy them or not. I don't get any money or any benefits if you don't go with Ruroc. I just don't like seeing people waste their money or spend their money and be unhappy with the product, especially if it's something that I could have helped with, given my, that's why review videos exist. That's why you guys are watching review videos right now, is because you want to see if something, either matches what your opinion is on it, or if you're doing something wrong with the product, or if it's a good investment or not. And I just really, really don't think, as of this video, that the Ruroc Atlas 4.0 is worth spending your money on at all. I would say to highly stay away from it. I know people that have dealt with similar experiences as myself as far as the quality, like the fit and finish with this helmet, and the customer service side, and they said even though they actually really do like the helmet compared to what they've used in the past, they will not buy them again based on those things. There are just several better options, and I gave you guys several better options, including ones that I probably don't even know exist or that I just couldn't think of as of this video. So thank you guys for watching very much. Let me know what your experience is with the Ruroc Atlas 4.0. If you have any, let me know what those are. Let me know if you concur with my better option possibilities out there. And definitely make sure you check out all the links in the description of this YouTube video, and really all of my YouTube videos, all the cards that go through. I think it's going to be on this side. I can't remember what, it's all mirrored. So, I have the cards that are going. So, but I do have a playlist devoted to the Sportster build and a playlist devoted to that Lowrider S build, which in 2 days after recording this, I'm getting ready to do something really cool over there with that Softail. So I cannot wait to get that tackled in 2 days. I'm super excited. The box is actually right there, but I don't want you guys to see it. So thank you guys for watching very much. Again, everything is in the descriptions, Instagram, TikTok, playlists, all my discount codes and affiliate links, everything like that is in there. Please hit the like and subscribe button. I would appreciate it very much. And until the next time, guys, ride safe, have fun, Dad